Hi, I'm Jessica and welcome to my channel. I have lived in the UK my whole life and lived in London for the past 5 years. And recently there's been a really big shift for me in how I feel living here. So I've decided that I will be moving to Portugal hopefully at the end of this year. This video is just me talking about 3 reasons that I decided to leave the UK and move to Portugal. So reason number 1. I have outgrown the city. I definitely have started to listen to my body over the last few years, way more than I allow my mind to make decisions for me, the shoulds, the coulds, and really dropping more into how it feels in my body to be somewhere or how a decision feels in my body. And so for a long time now, probably the last 3 years, I've kind of known in my body that London is not good for me anymore. I started to get eczema, which I've never suffered from before, and every time I left the UK, I went on holiday or I was traveling for work, then the eczema would just magically go away and I would come back and it would come back. And since I actually made the decision 100% to move, it's cleared up and it hasn't come back. So I'm feeling like my body is giving me some of these signals. Who knows if this is actually the case, but this is what I'm believing. And so I've decided that I will listen to my body, listen to myself in that the city, the energy of London just isn't for me anymore. And actually, I never moved here for me. My ex got a job here and I just followed, and it never quite felt right, but I always found something to do. I always found the positives of being in the city. I've grown up in the countryside in the UK, and if you know, it's boring. And I was overwhelmed when I moved to London. There was so much to do, always things accessible, always fun things to do, new people to meet, new places to hang out. And that really kept me like in the energy of the city. I was studying my doctorate at the time. And yeah, I managed to just find a way of living here. And then a few years in, I started to be like, wow, I'm exhausted. You know, my body started to feel tired. The kind of discipline that I'd had before, keeping myself healthy, looking after my body, my mind, that started to drop, and I could really feel that something didn't feel right anymore. And so, yeah, that's when I started to think maybe this isn't the right place for me and the person that I'm becoming. There's been a lot of shifts for me over the last few years, and I really feel like this new version that I'm becoming definitely needs a different environment to what is on offer here. And so I've been craving space. I've been craving stillness. I've been craving the sea, a life with less noise, more presence, and all of those things I find particularly difficult to do in London. So, Portugal offers some of these things, and I am excited to kind of keep sharing about how my journey towards moving to Portugal is going. And yeah, all of the things that are going well, that are more challenging. And yeah, you can kind of tune in and stay listening if that is something that interests you. So I'm moving away from a city that no longer matches my energy, the person that I'm becoming, and I want to be able to breathe between moments. I want to be able to value just being, not doing, and yeah, chilling basically. Finding more time to just relax and just to live and feel alive rather than feeling like a processing machine. So I'm really looking forward to that. Reason number 2 that I'm moving. I am a sensitive soul. And what I mean by that is things in my environment seem to impact me more than they impact other people. And I knew this as soon as I arrived in London. The smells, the sights, the overwhelming busyness, like all the different things happening all at the same time, the noises, like all of this was very difficult for me when I first moved to London. And it's the sort of thing that I had to work really hard to kind of navigate and adjust my lifestyle so that I wasn't becoming overwhelmed, like not going for a walk when it's school time because the teenagers around here scare me. And it's so loud. Yeah, so that was always something that I found very, very difficult. And I really think that our environments really deeply impact us. What we are surrounded by, what we are absorbing, these things kind of become who we are, at least in part, or we develop strategies, coping mechanisms to be able to kind of tolerate or survive in that environment. And really I've been surviving. I don't even realize that I've only been surviving and not thriving until somebody says to me like, oh, like it's interesting how you plan your whole day around like being overstimulated, like you only go here at this time and you can only do this, and I'm like, yes, thank you for pointing that out. It's very difficult. And I'm finding it very, very hard. So I have tolerated this. This is just the way it is. This is just my life. And because there's been shifts in my life over the last few years, I've started to be able to work remotely. I can have more freedom in where I am and what I'm doing. All of a sudden, this option about leaving London became a reality. And so then I had to choose where, and that'll be a whole nother downward spiral situation that I will talk about in another video. And then number 3, so the final reason that I am leaving the UK and moving to Portugal, and this reason is probably a common reason amongst those of us moving, not only from the UK, but around the world too, to places like Portugal, and that is the weather. I am a sun baby and I love, 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 love the heat. Like the sun, the sea, the beach. Like I really, really like this way of living, this lifestyle of living. And the city, London particularly, does not offer that. And probably I have been crying about the cold weather in this country since pretty much birth. I know my parents have been exasperated with me when every single time it was cold, I would be complaining about why the heating wasn't more warm. When I first moved in to my own place, this was the first thing that I wanted to do. I turned the heating up to like 28 in all of my rooms, and I like it that way. So, this is really important to me. I cannot wait to experience more consistent warmth. I know that in the winter it's probably gonna feel cold. It is a little bit less cold than it is in London. It is more mild in its temperature. I know this is going to be something I still find hard. I probably belong on an island because I feel like an island girl on the inside. However, I do feel like it will offer way more warmth, way more sunlight, and just generally less of the unpredictability of the miserable weather, especially in the summer, which I find very, very hard to deal with. So yeah, that is reason number 3. I'm choosing warmth, and not just physically. I also feel like the place that I will be moving to in Portugal, it has a warmth in its environment, the people, the culture, and I don't experience that in London. Maybe that's just where I live, but it tends to be a little harder for me to experience that warmth and community feeling here when in cities generally things are just a bit more anonymous. Whereas, you know, when you move somewhere a little bit smaller, seaside town, I'm going to be talking about where I'll be moving in one of my videos coming up. But yeah, that sort of warmth of community really, really appeals to me, and I'm excited to see if that's something that I like. So, 3 reasons that I have decided to move from the UK to Portugal, and I'm really looking forward to sharing more about my journey, how I'm getting a visa, long process, how I will be packing, how I got an apartment in Portugal, and all of the other bits and bobs that are going to be required along the way. I have 2 little cats, so how I'm going to be taking my cats to Portugal, all of these things I can't wait to share with you. And maybe if you are also thinking about leaving the space that you're in, the environment that you're in, this will provide a little bit of inspiration for, yeah, to kind of go for it and make that move, show that it's possible and you're not alone. And so many of us are feeling like this at the moment. This is just the beginning for us both. Thanks for watching.